Don't get me wrong, I love Klay Thompson, but I'm also an Orlando Magic fan. And of course, I don't know if you guys have heard Mr. Orlando. I guess it's not a guy, but the Orlando Magic, who are flush with cash, are infatuated with the idea of bringing in Klay Thompson to help them fix that shooting woes. I don't know what that sound was, but let's talk about our man, Mr. Klay Thompson, right here, right now. Let me hear your thoughts down below. Do you think he's going to go to a different team? I think he stays, but this is a guy who's averaging 19.8 points, 3 rebounds, and 2.5 assists in 14 games off the bench this season, in comparison to the, I believe it was 60 games he started, 17 points, 3.5 rebounds. It's been night and day almost, the two different performances, but let's talk about it. Honestly, to me, it makes sense. Shout out Tim Kawakami from, hopefully I said that correctly, Tim Kawakami of The Athletic, and it makes sense. I mean, Klay this season is a guy that he's showing he still has it, albeit obviously he's lost a step and he's not the defender that he used to be, but he's still shooting at a league average 57% true shooting, which is great. And the quote here is that every game that Klay plays and he looks better and more like himself, that Warriors extension is going to be more and more expensive. But at 34, the Warriors know that they're going into the play-in and they're hoping to go ahead and make a run in the playoffs, similar to like the Miami Heat and the Lakers did last year. But we also know that the Warriors don't always need Klay to have good games, as they've got, Jonathan Kuminga's pure athleticism and shooting ability and finishing ability, as well as Moses Moody to be kind of the 3-and-D guy, Gary Payton to be their defensive Swiss Army knife. Klay Thompson is kind of like, a luxury, as Chris Paul is able to run the second unit. So, and even it's to the point where Klay doesn't even close games at times, as they have Podziemski and other guys and Trace Jackson Davis who have been able to take care of that. And the idea is, do you bring back Klay on a team-friendly deal, or you might have to give him a hometown, kind of payment, or does he take a hometown discount? I'm thinking he wants 4 years, 80. He's worth more like 4 years, 60, probably. And he is still at a career low 38% three-point percentage, which is still good. I mean, he's had a resurgence of 41% from three since mid-February. But do you keep Klay, or do you allow him to leave so Moses Moody, B-Pod, and Kuminga can continue to bloom and grow into those roles so you can move into the new era, plus the luxury tax and all those things? So we all know they've been incredible together, and they might survive without Klay there, but I think Curry and Draymond are more key than Klay Thompson. I love Klay Thompson, but the idea is, what Klay does now, guys like Buddy Hield, Luke Kennard, and other top three-point shooters in the league are able to also do it. And Tim Kawakami writes, one of the worst kept secrets in the league is that Orlando, loaded with young talent but not with shooters, may offer Klay Thompson a ton of money. Meanwhile, luxury tax is something that Joe Lacob has been prioritizing lowering. And Klay is one of the big three who might end up being more valuable to another team than what the Warriors want to pay him. And the more durable he continues to be, the larger the contract he deserves. The Warriors should be able to try to bring him back, but not as a sentimental gesture. Klay has obviously taken advantage of this process, and I think kudos to him. But yeah, this is something we need to be aware of. I want to hear your thoughts. One thing I want to add, though, how does Klay fit in Orlando? So Orlando, basically, if you look at their salaries next year, I mean, they have the money. You don't have to worry about it. I believe we got the luxury tax for next year. Specifically, the salary cap next year is $141 million. Teams have to have at least $127 million on payroll, which, if you look at where the Orlando Magic are heading, using shout out hoopshype.com for this information, but also that's where I work, so go check out my work at hoopshype. But if you look at the Orlando Magic payroll for this season, they are currently paying, I believe it is, are they still under? I'm pulling it up right now. I don't know why it's taking forever to load. They have one of the lowest payrolls in the NBA. They have the lowest at 132 this season. And currently, if they were to keep everybody on the roster that is under contract next year, they're only at 85 million, which means they have to spend 42 million just to get there. Obviously, they're probably going to bring back Goga Bitsadeh, and they're going to draft guys and bring in 3 two-ways. So they can do 2 max contracts. So they could do the Fred VanVleet deal where it's like 2+1, where it's 2 years and then a team option, and lower the guarantee rate by year, which I think is the most likely thing. But I'm very curious to hear your guys' opinions. If you are a fan of the Golden State Warriors, do you think you need to keep him? Or I'm a fan of the Orlando Magic, okay, if you guys didn't know that. And I think one of the best parts about this is we're losing Markelle Fultz and Gary Harris. But Gary Harris is a guy that, if you look at our current lineup, and let's say the last game that we did play, which was yesterday against the Chicago Bulls, where we won, our lineup, which our normal rotation has Gary Harris as of late in the starting lineup. Now, we also have Markelle Fultz playing 23 minutes, who had a decent game. I think one of the best guys right here to be replaced, like I said, is Gary Harris or Markelle Fultz's minutes, which is 20 to 30 minutes a night that Klay can easily fill. So the touches are there for him.